Now, I'm a guy who enjoys both Transformers and video games, so as you'd expect, I also enjoy Transformers video games, particularly when they're absolute stonkers like this year's Fall of Cybertron. Now, I'm not going to do a review of the game or a playthrough because I don't really have the technology and I already get plenty of Yahtzee comparisons, so I'm going to give you this instead. It's Generations Fall of Cybertron Generations Shockwave! Now this guy's one of the main villains in FOC, but he doesn't really show up that much. Instead, most of his master plan's just exposited through those Bioshock audio pickups in his distractingly similar to the G1 announcer voice.
Shockwave status report!
It is the year 2012. The treacherous Decepticons, led by the maniacal Negatron, have pursued
Shockwave, shut your invisible mouth and get moving! We are losing B!
Yes, indeed, we finally have a G1-style deluxe Shockwave that doesn't look too out of place on your classic shelf. He's a little spikier than I expected, but when has spiky ever been a bad thing? This is a handsome young mother and no mistake. Thing is though, it looks as though he's picked up a bit of that Transformers Prime complaint of just being blatantly far too small. There's just no escaping it, particularly when you put him with his War for Cybertron predecessors. But what actually do we have here? We've got a wonderful one-eyed purple head, with epic violet light piping, which I totally don't mind not being yellow on account of its fabulosity. We've got a wonderful Turkish Delight centered belly with a teeny tiny Decepticon sign, awesome kind of mini Seeker wings, and some really rather nicely ball-jointed arms. There's the odd visible rivet that detracts from the perfection a smidge, but only a very smidgy smidge. Check out the weapon too! It's an Energon Harvester, I think? And should the mood take you could unmask it into a kind of triple-barreled rifle? Trifle? So honestly, apart from being too small, there's actually not that much to complain about. Apart from maybe the legs. They're just so worryingly thin and empty. And lacking in any bulk. It's like somebody could use a protein shake. Transformation's not what you call a biggie, but there's a nice torso flip bit. And here we go with the Cybertronian space whatever mode. I mean, it looks like it probably flies, and maybe that's a gun? I don't know. Shockwave's one of those guys with a history of, like, daft roleplay alt modes, so I guess at least this thing looks like it could fly under its own power. More to the point, though, it's kind of weird to have this alt mode not only in plastic, but also in proper Shockwave colours. I mean, I know this thing best from War for Cybertron multiplayer, and I've had 2 years of seeing it in boring black and cyan, which sort of gives it an extra layer of this is the real thing. And I think I like it. So Shockwave's a bit small and not exactly perfect, but it makes for a pretty decent classic Shocky, and I certainly don't hate it. So I suppose what I'm saying is that he's just about worth it! Hooray!